This is Prisma Lopez-Marin here on Monday with the Mayor. We are here at Huntingburg with Mayor Denny Spinner. Hello, Mayor.
How are you today?
I'm good, Mayor. Thank you for having us here. I understand that some happenings happened, events-wise, happened here in Huntingburg, including the farmers market.
The first installment of the farmers market was this past Saturday. It's being held on Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. on the parking lot of the Huntingburg Memorial Gymnasium. Destination Huntingburg has taken over sponsorship of that event, and our first one on Saturday had a beautiful Saturday morning, had a lot of turnout. I'm expecting the number of participants, the vendors, to grow over the coming weeks as the farming season goes into that. But there's a variety of, like all farmers markets, a variety of items that were there, and it's a good opportunity to get out and support some of our local folks. But it's also another community event, a good way to set up something to do on a Saturday morning. So right now, again, it's at the Huntingburg Memorial Gym parking lot, 7 to 11 a.m. And the future plans for that, as we look forward, as we go, as Market Street Park develops, I think the intention for that will be to move into Market Street as that park develops, and kind of one of the spaces that we have designed in Market Street would be very accommodating for this type of event. It would make sense that the market would be on Market Street, so that we're moving towards that. But this is an event that's gone on in the city for several years, and we're glad to have Destination Huntingburg kind of step up and take a leadership role in that. We've got a lot of sponsors that are helping support that as well. So I would encourage everyone on Saturday morning, next Saturday, after 7 o'clock, between 7 and 11, just to come down to Memorial Gym parking lot. A lot of parking, a lot of space there, and participate in our farmers market.
Definitely, and there are, it's very accurate to support our farmers here in Huntingburg because we are an agriculture community. Very
strong agricultural base. You think of Du Bois County as a manufacturing county, but right behind that is agriculture. Manufacturing and agriculture are the two major employers, the two economic impacts that we have on our community, and we're glad to have an opportunity to support the agricultural community as well.
And speaking about the community and projects that are happening, I understand that the lofts are getting closer to being accomplished.
Right. The Lofts of St. Joseph's is just a few months away from occupancy. We're looking at sometime in July for it to be officially open to occupancy. Pete Schwigerott from Miller Valentine Group appeared at our city council meeting last week to give us an update. The construction is if you've driven out past the site lately, you can see the external things that are happening, the paving, the landscaping, all the work that's being done, preparing for that opening. There will be a ribbon cutting and grand opening announced sometime in either late July or early August. But from a technical standpoint, at the meeting on Tuesday night, Mr. Schwigerott came and we had a review. One of the things that the city of Huntingburg offered as an incentive for that project to come to the community was a tax abatement program. This is a tax abatement that's been approved by the council back in 2012. Miller Valentine is really the first group to come back on the second phase of that. When this project began, they submitted an application following our guidelines that showed what they would be able to contribute to the community and the number of amount of investment in the community which qualified them for tax abatement. What we did last Tuesday was they came back and verified for the first year that they had met those goals, and part of that is an investment. They had to show an investment in excess of $5 million, and the papers that we saw on Tuesday showed in excess of $6 million of investment in the property so far. So they're well beyond what their qualifications are to receive that abatement. That abatement process happens each year. There's a 10-year abatement, but that process will happen each year. They will come back, verify what they have done, what their investments are, how much is going on at the property, and the council will vote to ratify that on an annual basis. So last Tuesday was the first time that they did appear before us, and we approved that. Another item that was approved that was part of the economic development package from the city was a grant from our economic development funds of $50,000. The council approved the dispersion of $25,000 at the point when the property was obtained about a year and a half ago. And again, last Tuesday, they verified to us that the project was over 75% complete. and the council approved the next grant of $25,000. Again, that's from our economic development income tax funds. It's a fund that we use to attract business and industry and other developments in our city. The property that's at St. Joseph's has been designated by our Economic Development Committee as a revitalization area that is targeted for that type of growth and qualified for that grant. And we're glad to see that is happening, and just the economic impact that having that building back in life in our community with 45 apartments. It's a great economic package. It's a great civil package because it does add to our utility, and they're all utility users, so there'll be some benefits to the city from that. But also it's a need for our community. The housing studies that have gone on shows there is a tremendous need for housing for those 55 and over. And I know that there's a list that's being developed, and they're expecting full occupancy by year's end. So in the next 6 months, you'll see a lot of activity there as people move into the facility, and it is meeting a growing need in our community. And by some folks may be moving from a single parent or a single person living, moving from a home into an apartment. That opens up housing stock that will allow families to be in those homes that have been used for years. And so it's a kind of a domino effect. So it meets the housing need for the seniors, but it also creates additional housing for families that might be using those single-family dwellings in the future. So it's a good move for everyone, and we're very excited to see that happen for all those reasons. And we're just very pleased to have Miller Valentine as a partner in this project, and excited about being able to see those apartments open up in the next month or so.
That seems like a lot of accomplishments
Right.
all in one. I did have a question in terms of the grant. Is it required for them to just have that $25,000 at the beginning and then come back for the other $25,000?
That was part of the ordinance by which this was approved several years ago. Sets up those parameters. Mm-hmm. So they have to demonstrate to us ownership of the property to begin with, and then near completion of the project. So that's a guideline that we set up for any kind of economic development that happens within certain designated areas of the city. So they've met the requirements on that.
That's incredible.
Right.
And
Right.
like you said, it is a civil accomplishment for the community because we are helping this set of, department or demographic.
That's the demographic, the growing aging population. Aging in place is something that we talk about, and we want our citizens who have contributed so much to our community over the years to still be a part of our community, be an independent living, do some independent living, have a comfortable, clean, safe place to age in, and this project is certainly meeting all those needs.
And definitely to call their own.
Right, exactly. There's a lot of the similar project here in Huntingburg Historic Place, where we have about 15 apartments that have been occupied from day one. And just the pride of living and having a place like that, a sense of community is very important. And I think we'll see that extended out to the lofts at St. Joseph's.
That's great. We look forward to that ribbon cut.
We too.
Definitely, definitely. And I know, like everything else that's happening here in Huntingburg, we are looking towards the water.
One quick update on the 4th Street Waterline project. We had anticipated that we might have been able to get the temporary lines off by the end of last week, but our last test, of course, before we do that, we want to make sure that everything is in place, the drinking water is safe, that everything's in the right place. We had a test last week that did not meet the standards that we felt it should, so we had to retest. So hopefully, then those tests are 24 hours apart, and we have to do 2 more tests to make sure that everything is in place in the line and properly running. So we've done some additional testing this week. At a report this morning was that we're anticipating those tests to come back and to the positive, that they are good. And as soon as those final results are given to us, we will begin the process of turning off the temporary lines and going back into full line operation. Again, last report was expected that will be completed by the end of this week. So barring any other unforeseen items, by the end of the week we should have the street back open completely. And again, I want to give my appreciation to the business owners, the residents along 4th Street, the customers that came to 4th Street during that time. It was a challenge at times to just to make sure that we could navigate around, but it was a project that was well overdue and will serve the city well for years to come. And we appreciate those putting up with everyone who put up with the inconveniences that went around that, but it'll be a great project that will have a long-term effect in our city.
I definitely agree, and I do realize that because the department, because the city, because you informed the community so much, it didn't feel like 4th Street was even that long.
Now, we're talking from a start to end. If we do meet our deadline for the Friday, it'll be 6 weeks.
Wow.
Which is really, when you consider what could have happened under a more traditional dig and replace project, well, we would have been talking at least twice as long to get that done, and the disruption would have been much more severe and much more intensive. So I think we've worked hard at maintaining traffic as much as we could. There were times that it was not there, but we had great communication. We had great partners in our Merchants Association and our Chamber of Commerce and Destination Huntingburg, and the city departments all worked together to make sure the word was out on what could be done and what was open and when it was. So it was a good effort. It was a good learning session, because coming in 2018, we'll have another project on 4th Street. So the things that we learned from this process will help us be better prepared for what happens in 2018 when the 4th Street Heritage Trail project comes along.
Yes, and we do look forward to that as well. We look forward to the progress of every project, because it is, like you say, it's imperative, and it will be for the future of Huntingburg.
Right, and we are a stellar community under construction, so pardon our progress. We're moving along, and the work of planning for Stellar and those projects is now turning into real projects. So it's hard to move through town without seeing something that's happening, and it is a struggle sometimes to navigate your way around. But it's all things that will make our community much stronger in the future.
Well, thank you, Mayor, for informing us.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it as well. And thank you for always joining us here on Monday with the Mayor. This has been Prisma Lopez-Marin here with Mayor Spinner.